Welcome back to the podcast. Hopefully, you guys out there are having a great day. I know I am. I'm having up and down. It's very up and down, and yeah, I'm getting a lot of just tired and going through it. But today flew. I'm gonna be honest. Today I feel like I'm still in the middle of it, and I'm like, wait, no, I'm at the end. We're doing the podcast. Like I'm actually, because I'm preparing myself for at 4 o'clock. I have a phone call with somebody, with one of my clients, and I've been learning a lot about sales recently. I'm listening to a lot of Alex Hormozi stuff about sales. I listen to a lot of his stuff about business, which I'm here in the first place. But hearing his stuff about sales just made me eye-opening, shocking, all of the above. And what I wanted to tell you guys was, well, before I hop into any of that, I want to say if you're new to the channel, I am a 19-year-old entrepreneur businessman who started an e-commerce business selling beats to rappers. So it's been going pretty well so far, and my whole idea was to show you guys a piece of my journey because right now I'm not in a season where I think I should tell you guys what you should do, ironically, right? I don't think it would be helpful if I told you this is what you should do or give you advice as someone who's this young, a 19-year-old, right? So you guys are going to see me as I get older, and you're going to see the credentials that I have as I keep moving forward. And when you do, hopefully you actually have reason to believe what I'm saying, if that makes sense. All right, so let's hop into it. First topic is one of my favorite shows, if not my favorite show of all time, my favorite TV show of all time. I want to talk about this TV show because I took a break from it. I really did. I took a break from it for a while, and I was on season 1, and it's an iconic one. It's called I Love Lucy. I don't know if you ever heard of it. Yeah, I don't know if you ever heard of it, but it felt so creepy watching it the first time and seeing like the first 3 episodes. It's so weird to think that there was a time that was like that. Now watching it, it feels like home. It feels like those are my friends. Like I know them. They're people. They're not archetypes or just people in a sitcom. They're really real. And they're married and they go through problems that everybody else goes through. Or at least back then, a time where I think it was worse in terms of racism, but better in terms of a whole lot of other stuff. You know what I mean? And understanding that culture. I mean, we could talk about the black culture and the white culture and the Asian culture, and there's so much there. There's so much there within the Hispanic culture. But to talk about a culture in the past is a little bit different because it's a culture, because those cultures just disappear. And 99% of them, if not all of them, we don't know. We don't know what they did exactly. We're only guesstimating, right? We're just guesstimating. We're guessing this is what they did because of the context clues that we were given. But we're filling in the blanks for a lot of history, us, either Americans or even the Europeans, the Russians, or anybody like that, to fill in the blanks of what exactly happened, right? Well, what exactly happened? What was the culture like in the 50s? I mean, you had a Hispanic guy play the lead of a show where if he's not the lead, a woman is. That's crazy for the 50s or 60s. Yeah, I think it's 50s. That's nuts. It's unheard of. You know what I mean? So if that happened now, everyone would be like, yeah, whatever. Everyone wouldn't be like, well, there's 2 white men. It's like, no, it's a woman and a Hispanic man, and they're married. It's I Love Lucy, and it's so interesting to see how ahead of its time it was and how rooted in its time it was. It brings me to a simpler time. It's kind of like we all know the similar time. Not similar, the simpler time. Where everything was all rainbows and sunshine. It was awesome. Like when I was a little kid. I thought by the time I'm 19 or 20, I'm going to be this big figure of some sort. And I became that to a certain extent in my own head. Maybe not for you guys, but in my own head, I became that. And I would be that to that little kid. If a little kid looked at me, I'd say, yeah. He'd be like, wow. And he doesn't understand the things that I've been through. And that's why it sucks for me to see. One of the worst things things that gets me triggered the most is when I see little kids and I hear stories about little kid trauma that everybody has. And when it gets really bad, I'm like, well, you couldn't even experience the simple things are still difficult for you. Even when it was supposed to be simple. You're a little kid. It's just supposed to be simple. It's still difficult because of circumstance. I hate that. I hate that happens all the time to most people. It's not even like some people. It's like most people. I'm lucky. You know what I mean? I'm lucky that didn't happen to me. You know, it didn't happen at all to me. I really do feel so grateful for what I have, and everything I don't have, I look forward to getting it one day. You know what I mean? That's kind of like where my perspective is. But back to Lucy, talking about her show, to be that demanding. I mean, she was a leader. She demanded the stage, or rather the audience. And she was on stage, and she was a performer, an entertainer, whose number one goal was just to make them laugh. And she did it. She makes me laugh every day through my screen. I mean, some of these things I'm like, how am I laughing? Like, I usually don't laugh while I'm working. And I just hear something said, I'm like, that was smart. And, you know, it also gives, you gotta give it up to the writers too of that show. They did great. That writer's room must have been awesome, but they did great. But I want to move on now from Lucy over to a calm wake up. A calm wake up is basically something I've had for a while, which is I wake up and I'm calm. I see my day ahead of me. It's weird. It's like it's an out-of-body experience. When I wake up, I literally go, like the last few days, I've just been like, all right, it's probably 6. I'll stay in bed because I don't want to finish early because then everything early is going to happen. Screw that. Stay in bed. I can still go to bed. I'll let the sun wake me up at around 7-ish or whatever time it's going to be when the sun wakes me up. And, you know, we're going to get the cold hours and it'll all be good. Whereas before, I'm like, I got to wake up, get it done, because I don't know if I will. And now it's like I'm calm about it. I'm like, I know it will happen. I know I have the potential to get it done. I'm me. And I've already gotten done for a month. I can get my 8 hours done. The question is not whether I can get it done or not. The question is, first of all, how quickly can I get it done? And second of all, how do I want to experience it? It's almost like where you have your mini guys doing your cold outreach or you're producing. And I feel like the big guy going, okay, what exactly do I want my employees doing, even though I don't have any employees? It's just me. But still, it's like, I'm like, what do I want my employees, what do I want Christian, the employee, to do today? Exactly. Not necessarily, it's more of an abundance mindset than scarcity. I know I have time, so let's chill and then go. And when I'm in it, I'm in it. It's not one of those things where I'm like, let's just chill and be calm. It's like, no. When I go, when I decide to get up, and usually I wait about a half hour. The last few days I'm just waiting a half hour because, like I said, I wake up too early, and then when it's nighttime, I'm just screwed. You know what I mean? So it's smarter, if anything, if I wake up later, get my sleep, and then bang, go for it. You know what I mean? And go for it as hard as I can. You know what I mean? So that's something that's been interesting. I wonder if you guys experience that, if you've been working a while, where you experience this almost like outer body experience when you're setting up your day in your mind, right? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Another topic I wanted to talk about is Am I Dreaming? A song from Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. One of my favorite movies, like in general, but definitely like my favorite movie of the year. It's like top 5 for me. It's up there for me. I love that movie. And the closing credits have this song that me and my brother were both like, this is popping, dude. And it's a song called Am I Dreaming? If you're into rap especially, I would definitely listen to it. It's a great, great song. And in the song, this woman singing. She talks about if she's dreaming. And she says, not done fighting. I don't fear I've lost. And that line, when I'm working out or when I'm trying to do something, she says, I don't fear I've lost. I mean, think about that. I don't fear I've lost. That's almost what it feels like when I wake up. It's like, I wake up, I'm like, I don't fear I've lost yet. Whereas before I felt like I was trying to make up for a lot. I was like trying to make up for all the time that I was just laying down and being annoying. Now it's like, I don't fear I've lost. I know I got this. I'll do what's required, and because I have before. Not because of motivation's sake, not because today I feel good. It's because I've done it before. I have the proof that I've done it. I could do it today. And I have the proof that other people have done it. So like I said, I'll do it today. You know what I mean? And I want to tell you guys a bit of a story. And this story, it's story time. I do this every week, or every day when I tell you guys a different story. And this one's interesting because I had, it's about achieving an accomplishment, because I had accomplished, I think it's kind of like a theme. It's thematic. For the last few days, I was almost about to accomplish a sale recently. I told some stories about when I accomplished my 500 pages, but this accomplishment was a little bit different. It was a award I had won for doing theater well. I did theater great, and I won an award. Congrats. And it's almost like the Oscars, they have categories and different, but so I win the award. I didn't know I was going to win. It wasn't one of those things where they told me I was going to win. No, I'm going in blind. And they say my name. I won. And I get on stage. I say my speech. Now, what happened after that was very, very interesting, because the show that I was a part of, a little hint, how do I say this? A little bit of a inside fact. I didn't like anybody in that show. I didn't like them. They weren't nice people. I like some people. Most of the people didn't like me. I didn't like them. And I just won something for their school when I was a kid. You know what I mean? When I was younger than I am now. A lot younger. 5 years. I think I was like 14 or 15. And I win. I get up there, say the speech, go backstage, and there's all these friends that don't even tell me congratulations or anything. They just go, all these friends I thought I was close with. And I'm like, damn, not even tell me congratulations? Like, that's fucked up. You know what I mean? So then we go, a whole ordeal happens, and I get back to my seat. And in my seat was everybody that was in the show. Everybody I said I didn't like, right? Who I thought were, even though it was girls, they were trying to, like, bully me, for lack of a better word, like bully. They were trying to bombard me a lot. And I was so, like, careless back then. I was just like, yeah, who cares? I sit down, and they're all telling me congratulations. And there's specifically one girl who I remember who came up to me after and grabs my arm and goes, Chris, congratulations, man. Like, fully like that. Congratulations. Like, meaningful. And I'm like John Travolta, like the meme of Pulp Fiction. I'm like, what? You're telling me congratulate? All the other people didn't even tell me congratulate. Out of all people I would have ever thought, it wouldn't have been you. It's like, huh. That's interesting. So congratulations for what? And like, on the award. Congrats that you did it. Thanks. I just go, I was like, for what? What are you? And she was like, what are you talking about? Leave me alone. And she was like, no, for the award. Like, congrats. And I'm like, hey, thank you. Yeah, I know. It's cool, right? And she was like, I was a little bit cocky about it. I was like, it's pretty cool, right? She was like, yeah. I was like, are we friends? Are we doing this? Are we? And all these people come up. Like, it's so many people in this cast. Like 30 people. All individually come up. Congrats, man. It was like it was choreographed. I was like, what are you? And I don't even, till this day, I'm like, I don't even know what to think of that. But in terms of my friends, I do know. Because my friends, when I accomplished something that they did not, because they didn't win that night, ironically, the person who did win, who's a good friend of mine, came up to me and said congrats. But as long as you don't achieve more than that person, they'll be happy for you. Once you achieve more, and once I achieved more, in this literal situation, once I achieved more, all my friends come up to me and say, yeah, how you doing? Like that. Like, I just won. You just saw me do a whole speech thanking my mom or whatever, right? And So now what? Right? It's like, what the hell? And then all these people who I don't like are, excuse me, all these people who I don't like are telling me congrats, man. It's like, who is who in this situation? And it was another big lesson. I think the takeaway really is, I didn't know what to think of it. Now, really, the takeaway after reading 48 Laws of Power, great book, is your enemy is far more of a friend than your friend is. Because you never know with your friend what their true intentions are. With your enemy, you know. You get what I'm saying? With your enemy, you know they don't like you. So the best business partners to have is like your enemy. They might screw you over. Maybe. But at least you're aware that they might. They won't backstab you. You know what I mean? They won't. They won't backstab you at all. And I'm saying that rather than that they won't. Either your friendship will become closer because you were enemies before, or you're already aware that they're going to backstab you and they're aware. So it's like, yeah, that's just not going to happen. If that makes sense. I want to move on to introvert versus extrovert. And what am I? Am I an introvert or an extrovert? When I was a kid, and this is what I think is the most objective, is when I was a kid and when you were a kid. I think that's the most like context clues you can give to what I actually am, because a lot of it I think is nurture and how I learned to become one or the other as I got older. I really learned to become both in practice. So I'll explain. When I was younger, I was straight introvert. Literally textbook introvert, very shy. I liked my family, and I played with my toys by myself. Thoughts were in my head, never spoke out loud. I was always very introverted. I had all the telltale signs of an introverted person. When I got older, much older, we're talking like 10 years, like from 4 to 14, I learned to become an extrovert. And I become a party motivator, so to speak, or a dancer at these parties, right? At Sweet 16s. And that was my first job ever. And I become a dancer at these parties, and I have to really learn to be an extrovert because you have to dance with all these girls. And I don't know if you could tell, but I used to really like girls. So I was really into women. So I was like, yeah, this is great for me. And I looked far older than I was. Like when I was 16, I looked like I was 25. I literally got mistaken for 28. It's the highest I've ever gotten. 16, and she thought I was 28. Crazy. That's nuts. I didn't act on it. But those were far more of my imbecile days. And I learned to be an extrovert, and I enjoyed being an extrovert. I was like, hey, I get a lot of energy from this. This is awesome being an extrovert. And then I learned to be an introvert again. Because I was like, well, this is hurting me. You know, and this can hurt me in the future. So what's the decision you're going to make, buddy? Right? So I made the decision to, okay, well, let's be an introvert. These days, I'm really like an introvert. Even when I'm in front of people, I've gotten so used to being back into those. It just feels like practice now. If I wanted to become an extrovert, I can give me a week. I'm just talking to people, and I'm back. Done, over, back. Like a day. That night, I'll be in it. You know what I mean? Bring me to literally any event, a concert. You know what I mean? Literally one concert, I'm back in the game. Let's go. You know. But for now, I think it's better for me to be an introvert. It's better for me to be closed off and in my own zone. And in front of you guys, I can bring out my extroversion. I can bring out my articulation, my energy that I get. All right. So on that note, that's all the topics I got. On that note, I'm gonna head over to YouTube and finish off my day. That's basically it. So see you guys next time. And if you enjoyed, I do these pretty much every single day. So tune into another one. All right, let's do it. Peace.